very rewarding towards players that are consistent. So the people who are doing well, they're gonna stick to their guns and they're gonna just do what they do well. The people who are lower on the bracket, they need to change it up. They need to be more aggressive in the early game and then get those placements point later in the game.
And that's exactly what a player like Jules, who won the third game, did. He redeemed himself from the full damage in game 2, wins the game 3, puts himself in second place.
Well, game 3 is done and dusted. It's time for round number 4. Gentlemen, it's over to you. Take it away.
Loading in round 4, dropping on with Skite, who we know is one of the top European players, and he's been doing pretty well for this tournament so far. Lothar, is there anybody that you think we haven't featured or that you want to see more from in this game as we reach that halfway-ish point of the tournament?
I would say Aspect, but he's not doing well so far, man. Him and Animal are doing well in scrims, always like doing well in tournaments and so far. But in solos, man, he's dead last right now. So I hope he will pick it up and get some early game kills and, you know, just get a starting position. But here at Happy Helmet, we have a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people. There's Aim Hero there from Korea. Now this is Vilex and Fa. Trying to trade over this house. You mentioned Aspect. I'm always keeping my eyes to see if he comes up in the action feed because he lost every single one of his first fights in the first 3 games. And that kind of thing is not what we were expecting. We weren't really expecting Aspect to be on such a back foot in the tournament early on. Slow pace start for Vilex and Fa.
You will be also able to say who has a good mindset later in the stages. But let's focus on this fight. It's starting a little bit slow. No one has any mats. Probably also very low on equipment. Maybe no shotguns as well.
Dual pistols now for Vilex as he's trying to get through that floor. Oh, there's a trap! It's gonna get him! Fa ends up falling. Vilex picks up the elimination.
That is so much value right now. First elimination. Early in the game, 150 mats, right? You get that right off the bat and 50 HP. That puts him in a fantastic spot so you can rotate earlier, because if you gain 150 mats just by getting a kill, but let's focus on the Stompy and who is that?
Another trap goes down. I didn't quite see. It may very well have been Keolis. Was trying to just get his way through that trap. We're back over into the polar area as Stompy and Keolis. This is the wide angle on the fight. We were just seeing, wow, Keolis just takes him out with that one shot, one elimination off that heavy shotgun.
Play. Everyone is so aggressive in the early game. I love it.
I love it too. This is great for the early game. I love that we get a little bit of pace here as Issa trying to find Bowman. Bowman drops down, tries to get it, but swaps out to the pistol. Doesn't get it, but look at the damage straight back as Issa picks up Bowman. A really important elimination again.
What a follow-up with the Grey Pistol as well. People underestimate the Grey Pistol.
Oh, Kinzel, we'll see whether he underestimates Excalibur as he's trying to get any kind of position that he can. Kinzel has the high ground for now, but 14 health, has the first aid kit, but you bet there is no way he's being given the time to channel that.
I wouldn't be surprised if Excalibur would just like to drop him down by destroying this entire build. He knows that he nailed 104 damage from the shotgun.
He actually got the time to first aid kit. Oh, he actually got the first aid kit off. That turns this fight. And look, Kinzel knows already. He says, okay, I'm coming for you because there's no way you can be as healthy as me anymore. Excalibur trying to get his way out. Peeks through the pyramid.
That's a good position to just, you know, launch in any different direction right now. He has the floor underneath him. So just one edit and he's out of there.
Oh, Kinzel trying to go in through the low ground. Risky strategy at times, but he'll have seen the edit play come through now. Trying to just clip through, does get it.
He got the white damage. He knows he has no shields at all.
Drops in. What a beautiful elimination from Kinzel. Drops over the high ground, able to pick him up. We're now on with X2 Jordan, all the way from Oceania, all the way looking for his first elimination of the game. Good replace on that roof. At least to deny from that 4 health, stays alive. This fight has turned. He has got to find this next shot. Desperately trying to peek. Pistols are out, but there was a trap in there. And X2 Jordan gets baited.
How did he not see that trap? Maybe he didn't remember it. Maybe that's the, you know, the nerves are talking like, you're on the LAN. It's a big tournament.
Kinzel just falls to Ares. Ares just comes in and says, okay, you won the last fight, but Ares picks up this elimination, no sweat.
I'm very happy for Eric, by the way. He wasn't doing well in this tournament so far. He had 0 points going into this game right now. So by getting that elimination early in the game, he's, well, I hope he will do well better.
So this zone covers a lot of the points of interest that were added in Season 8. We've got the Volcano, we got Lazy Lagoon, but we are jumping up to a fight between Econ and Tixi. There is a third player here as well. That Stink Grenade is going to pick up the elimination for Fwexy. He was the one that was waiting around the side, and now Tixi going to just drop out the back.
200 HP for both of them. They seem to be reluctant to pick up the fight. Good decision. That's actually, when it comes to solos, it's so important to know when you have to back out.
Yeah, Poach taking on Madsen right now, and Poach is currently set at 69th in the scoreboard, so this would be a big elimination and a good start to Game 4 for him. One of North America's players that everybody was expecting a lot from coming into this tournament. Everyone was saying, Poach, we're going to see so much. First 3 games being a little bit slow. I want to see him try and maybe score a few more points in these last 4.
Well, you know, statistically speaking, you have 100 great players. Some of them will do badly.
Absolutely, and we'll hopefully see if Poach can settle himself. Kuna takes a big shot off. Is actually not as big as I thought. First of all, only 33 damage comes through.
Oh, they're getting knocked down by someone else. Those clingers, where did they appear from?
I think Kuna threw them down because he was actually trying to get an elimination for himself as they were falling to the ground.
Important thing to notice, he has a disco bomb in his equipment right now. That can be a game changer when you don't expect it and you're getting hit.
I heard a couple go off in the late game, in the last game, where he does that disco grenade, comes out and everything kind of changes the complexion for a few seconds. And he's looking for Saf. Saf, again, another player that everybody was talking a lot about, but hovering at the bottom of the standings so far. Will run for safety for now, though. Doesn't take an engage.
We're going back to Poach.
Yeah, Poach and Madsen. Right now, as the zone is closing in, they do have a decent way to go. So this basically is a fight to see who lives to see the next storm. Poach trying to find his way outside that edit. Poach just takes so much damage off that first shot. Dire situation, and he is finished off by Madsen, as Madsen will put Poach out of round 4.
Not looking good for Poach, man, I have to admit. Early game death for him means that he will be still in that bottom 50 in the standings.
Yeah, you don't get placement points until that 50th spot in the game. This is Boya, Nirvana, and Kamo fighting just on the southern border of Tilted.
6 clingers at his disposal and the heavy sniper as well. It's a great combination to use together.
Oof, Nirvana just got caught in the stink grenade as well, and Kamo's going to try and pick up the pieces, trying to fire through the floor, trying to get anything he can against Nirvana, but couldn't quite get through. The metal is starting to build now, so Nirvana will be safe for a moment as he tries to get his way back up that ramp.
Interesting circle, by the way, you can see in the picture. It's very centralized, so a lot of possibilities when it comes to movement. You will have access to cannons, you will have access to vents as well.
Looks like a lot of the north side of the zone is actually in the new lagoon area, so a lot of over water fighting to be had if it continues to move north.
Not sure if you noticed, but Kamo has an absolute beast of an inventory. Look at this.
Yeah, it's great, right? You got double legendary items plus the AR. I feel like the only thing he's missing is if he could stumble onto a vending machine that has a rift to go or a launch pad, he'd be like, oh, great, everything's good for the late game.
I mean, this meta is currently revolving around the mobility item late game, so having launch pads and rift to go is super important. But here we have Blackstone from this stream.
Yeah, Cloud getting stink grenaded out as Black's trying to get any kind of position on this fight. Cloud is getting run around through the low ground. No angle yet for Black's to actually get an elimination. Cloud's going to try and build up for a moment there, trying to just change direction as quickly as possible.
He was controlling the fight very well, but he backed out at some point. He's worried about the third parties that can just shoot him down from the... not shoot him down, but just shoot it from different angles and just lose health for no really big reason. He can still be passive. He is inside of circle, if I'm not mistaken. So it's all good.
And this is where those passive moments come through. We were talking about placement points. Right now, unless you really have to move, there's no point in taking a fight. And that's what a lot of players will play towards. You can see how congested this area is around Dusty. As Demo This is such a commonplace for him. We've seen this at least 2 games out of the ones that we've had. Demo just sat top of Dusty. He's just going to peek out the window. He knows he's safe because no one's going to pressure him from here. No one's going to try and take the fight and look for an elimination.
That's a great position to be in, since you have natural high ground from the east. And he's above, no, 1 damage below the Storm Surge. Remember, the Storm Surge mechanic deals lethal damage if you're not getting above it. And there's, you know, no possibility of just getting out of it unless you get that hit. So having stink grenades is a fantastic thing to play against Storm Surge.
At this point, we're going to see Demo start taking long-range shotgun shots just to get above that threshold. Any damage.
Here's someone drifting. Oh, get that
just
guy.
Fire at the sky at anything.
1 hit.
We did just see a rift come through as players are starting to move towards this zone. It is Storm 2 going into Storm 3. Starting to see a little bit of congestion around the edges of the lake, but nothing too much to write home about for now. Aim Hero. Gonna see if he is the anti-hero for DMO's fans. As Aim Hero, we've heard a lot of talk about this player from South Korea. Now DMO is the one taking the fight to him. Aim Hero needs to be prepared. He has invaded DMO's territory, and now he's gonna have to fight. He's wielding that silenced assault rifle for now, and DMO does back away, at least for now.
Well, he would have to, you know, assert dominance. And when he did that, he's just going back to his spot. I mean,
now he's doing it on Flexi. The same thing.
It is important because those people will just let be passive against him. But he's going for the fight.
He edits and actually didn't get punished too hard now, as only 30 health dropped from him. DMO says, okay, maybe I don't need to take this.
You know, remember, he was below the threshold. This is why he got so aggressive.
Exactly, like looking for any damage he could, but as the players have dropped as well, so has that Storm Surge, and a lot of people now in DMO's territory. We got BloodX, one of the big European players, Bizzle here, who we saw win a game earlier today. Massive name that we're expecting a lot from, and he has already performed quite well. DMO just ended up falling to Flexi.
He was just erased.
Instantly, one shot, another elimination as Flexi takes out DMO, and DMO was playing so confidently on top of Dusty.
I mean, he had a lot of HP. He had a purple shot as well.
And I'm pretty sure that's out of the elimination rounds here, as we will continue to track this as 72 hours. Is one of the players we were looking coming into this was sat in the top 20. Now will try and get himself into a position and look for more fights. 62 players remain in this game, so that was DMO falling out before the elimination threshold. 72 hours to hit his own ramp with that clinger. Careful, 72. You gotta make sure you don't take yourself out with those clingers. As we continue with Smeeth. Not so bad on the inventory himself. Again, mobility is lacking. It's something we're come to expect from Season 8.
What are you talking? Yes, I'm sure it.
the static mobility.
It has a seat, you know? So.
Exactly, exactly. But good to use as a floor piece if ever you want to
keep yourself alive. It's 1k HP on a floor, so if you're getting, you know, just assaulted from the top, you can just still use it as a very good cover. But he was going back mid-throw. 54 HP, but he got a good shot.
Oh, Metro says, sit down, Jesse. Heavy sniper through the wall. Picks him off with that shotgun.
Well, that's where you see Heavy Sniper coming in as a... After the nerf of the Deagle, Heavy Snipers are coming back into the metagame if you just want to go through those builds. And it just destroys anything. Apart from the containers, actually. Because it deals 1k damage.
Good enough to just go through that brick wall, though, and just follow up with that shotgun. Here we can see the players still alive in this game, as Kesa is the player we jump to.
Oh, Nero just eliminated himself. He jumped from 60 meters. There's a cannon.
Here we go.
Remember, you can't move while you're being shot out of it. So there's you here. If you don't have redeploy, he has to redeploy.
Kesa carrying the redeploy. There is no way he's getting to a safe spot without that redeploy. He was firing all the way through. As Keenstar, our points leader, still trying to get himself into the zone.
But I really love the introduction of cannonballs. Like, first of all, it's a new mechanic that we never had in the game before, but it also gives a purpose to the redeploy. So you can actually think about, maybe I should drop those bandages, take the redeploy, since I have the possibility of using the cannon. It gives you a lot of mobility that you previously didn't even have the chance to use.
And another Season 8 mobility edition, those volcanic vents. These players were all fighting over one of them as well. They can be so pivotal for those rotations towards the moving zones. And right now, Dementos just trying to peek out anything that he can. You can see Saf is there, Provoked is there. On top of your screen, you got a few more of the players that haven't been doing so well in the standings.
Jarko's the winner of the Polish tournament last week, just got an elimination as well. He's not doing well so far in this edition, but maybe he will pick up the pace. But now, you were speaking about the volcanic vents. I think it's a great addition to the game because they add objectives, something that we didn't have before.
Airwax, my pick for this tournament, getting taken out early. That's an early elimination comes through, and that vent Bizzle ended up kind of ending on the vent, getting pushed into its own ceiling and having to readjust back out and build in a different spot. So still a long fight over this as we've got Nate, 72 hours, Bizzle. We've got some of North America's best players in this area, all fighting over objectives, but they are not teammates today. This is not North America versus the world. This is everybody versus everybody, and we'll see who can secure this vent.
Oh, there's a lot of players just, you know, bundling up near defense. Great to see because that's a new thing in the meta game. We have people rotating around. What is interesting about the circle is that we have a lot of natural high grounds around the area, but at the same time there's a lot of vents. So being low ground between those hills is not a death sentence anymore, right? A lot of people will be just focusing the different positioning, and you will have the possibility of just going through those deltas.
Starting to get a couple more eliminations, and we are into the points now. 47 players remain. Bizzle hasn't moved. We've got Isa, Zate up on the high ground as well. Jarkos, the Polish winner, is there. 72 hours down in the valley between the mountains. You can
look at Skite down below, sitting comfortably.
Sitting comfortably. Let's see whether the zone moves in his favor as well.
Vivid, there's eliminated Cloud.
Vivid, one of the players that really started showing up last year.
Isa, did you see his equipment? 1 rift, 2 launch pad, and now Zaid, 1 rift, 1 launch pad.
And on top of it, the Sting Grenade as well is going to help. A lot of people underestimate them, but in competitive games, when people are all in these enclosed spaces very commonly, you can get so much damage, and it's a zoning tool. It forces people to move out of where they're hiding, so don't sleep on them in competitive.
Oh, one of my favorite tools in the game, since they provide you defense and offense at the same time.
Clinging down onto Keolis. Talk about offense. Nate's going to take this fight. Doesn't have the health for himself, but when you're in a shotgun duel, it's basically one shot will end up securing it. Nate.
Oh, is he going for it? He's
trying to look
going for the peekaboo.
Desperately trying to just get through. He dodged that shot.
There's a set up for him. Oh, he got outplayed so hard.
Keolis ends up taking the elimination on Nate as Jarkos were back on again. Those Sting Grenades draining out that good inventory you were talking about in a great position. And people are going to start to move very shortly. Now we're going to see who has the materials, who has the ability to get into that zone.
Nord has also great equipment, a lot of mats. He's in a fantastic position to get into the later stages of this game. Still 42 players arrive.
And that RPG makes it so difficult for everybody trying to move from those buildings because they're just constantly going to drop down. And if you get caught out, eliminated early, your points are going to be a whole lot lower than you were hoping for if you were looking for a safe rotation.
Ooh, you were talking about knocking people down, but this rocket was meant to be lethal.
Norwood trying to pick up another elimination for himself on Madsen, but Madsen is able to secure himself. Chap is in this.